Guitarist achieved legend status. The partying days, though, are gone. He's even kicked the nicotine. But the way he can play that guitar drew fans from around the country to Taranaki over the weekend.
Please welcome to the stage, Slash!
People want to be Slash. People want to be... You're just a legend. How does that sit with you?
You know, when you say it, then... You know, it's very flat. I don't think like that. I don't get, you know what I mean? I'm too young for it, for one. I haven't accomplished enough to be a legend, and I'm still practicing diligently on the guitar.
If you come somewhere like New Zealand, wherever you go in the world, can you actually, I mean, you're so recognisable.
Yeah, I can't go sort of with, like, the long hair and the top hat and all that kind of stuff, because that's sort of... People, like, even if they don't know who I am, they want to know what I am, you know?
That is you. I mean, that is, doesn't it? You see a top hat, you think Slash.
I always was somebody that thought hats were cool. Like, whatever outfit you were wearing, a hat sort of completed it. And I went into a store one day, this was like 1985 or 1986, and saw this top hat that was on one of the shelves. And I walked out of the store with it. I thought it was really cool, but I didn't have any money, so I just sort of slipped out of the store with it. And I took a concho belt, you know, like those Indian-style belts, and tied it around there, and wore it at the show, and it became like the perfect way for me to deal with being out in public. I sort of hid behind it, and it just became my thing, you know.
The Slash we see today is a lot different from the hard-living... I mean, you were the rock and roll animal, weren't you?
Yeah, but I was still the same. I was just inebriated, you know. I gave up all that stuff because it just got to the point where it was becoming redundant. I wasn't having that great time. It was taking too much effort to get too little out of it, and it was conflicting with my musical visions.
You totally cleaned up. I mean, you knocked off the drugs and the booze.
Yeah.
But the thing that probably staggers people the most, and when you look on the cover of this,
yeah.
The fag was always there, wasn't it?
That hasn't been for as long. That's only been for about a year, and that's the toughest one. That's the toughest one, and I've got all kinds of nicotine supplements going on as we speak. So we'll see how long that lasts.
What made you decide to give them away?
Because I smoked so much that I got sick of smoking.
We never really hear a lot of you trashing anyone else. We don't even hear you even going back to the Guns N' Roses days. So what was Axl's problem?
You know, you'd have to ask him. I'm not going to go into that.
Is that part of your personality? I mean, you're not a sort of a... You seem to have a good nature, if I can put it that way.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty easygoing, but I have my moments. I remember when I first started doing a lot of press, I had a little bit of piss and vinegar about that whole situation, but I don't really like to perpetuate all that sort of negative stuff. It doesn't do anybody any good. And I'm also not necessarily what you call continually bitter about the whole thing.
We look at your solo album, and yes, you read through the people who you got to come on. I mean, how did you convince them? I mean, were they queuing up?
No. I'd love to think that I was that cool, but I had to, I called up people that I knew the best to start, the ones that I had the longest standing relationships with.
This record better sell.
It's great having Ozzy.
And then I got cocky and started calling people I'd never met before in my life.
I mean, there's, Iggy Pop, there's Lemmy. I mean, there's legends from the past few decades, but then you've got Fergie.
I did a gig with Fergie with the Black Eyed Peas as sort of a guest spot. I only knew her from songs that didn't sound like somebody who sang rock and roll. And so we rehearsed these songs, and then she showed up and she got up and started singing them and just blew my mind. So I wrote this piece of music that had a certain kind of swagger to it, and it just sounded like it'd be really good for a female. And I automatically thought of Fergie, and I sent her the music, and she loved it. And so she wrote these fantastic lyrics and came down and did a demo vocal, and it was just amazing. I actually wanted to put that on the record, except for the actual quality of the recording wasn't that good. But she's got a great rock chops.
You love music, you love touring, you have fun with your family. What else do you do? What do you do for pleasure?
I'm pretty, you know, anything else that I do is just sort of like killing time. I'm really a workaholic. So if I'm not touring or writing or recording or jamming or something, then I'm probably at home with the kids and playing pinball or playing poker.
Can you see yourself as an old man up there with a guitar and just getting into it?
I try not to picture all that. I'm sure that's what I'll be doing, but I just don't look that far into the future. You know, I stay in the now. It keeps me sharp.
And you missed a great show in Taranaki. Now you can see the extended version of that interview with Slash on our